have Lee. Oh,
Yep.
Looks like we're going. Yeah, whenever you're ready, we'll start the intro and we'll go from there.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, we're once again streaming live from Tidewater Horror Convention down in the Wyndham Hotel, Norfolk, Virginia. And we have an awesome panel heading for you right now. We'll kick it over to the panel room.
Hi, this is Hayden Newman coming to you from Tidewater Horror Convention in Norfolk, Virginia. And if you're in the area, you need to get down here and see all of us. And with me today is Danny Hassel from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. He famously played Dan Jordan. So hi, how are you, Danny?
Hi, Hayden. Hey, it's great to be here at the Tidewater. This is a lot of fun. So like you said, come on down here in Norfolk, Virginia. My first time actually getting to hang out down here, so it's really fun.
Yeah.
So,
well, before we get started, I talked to a former castmate of yours the other night on the phone, and they wanted me to give you a little message.
Go ahead. Let me hear my coworkers.
That little message was, you're one major league.
Yes, I am. I still am. That's awesome. What a funny line. People know, if you know the movie, obviously, that's a big line from the movie.
Well, it was Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa. That's awesome. Because, the people, that's like, it's not a bad thing to be, to be a major league hunk, I guess. So, that's a funny scene in the movie. It's kind of corny, but it ended up being funny overall this year.
And it's a memorable scene.
It is. It's actually, when I do, when people want their poster signed, it's, even though it's Lisa's line, I write it on the posters a lot because people like it. It's funny. There's a couple lines that I don't actually have. That's what's funny about the movie, because even Robert has a line, this boy feels the need for speed, or like,
that's in 5, yeah.
Yeah, people, they always equate that with me for some reason. But yeah, that's a funny scene.
So I guess my first question, now that we've got that out of the way, is, because I totally
I love the girls. They're fun. We're good friends, all of them.
My first question is, how did you get involved with Nightmare 4?
Well, I was doing acting. I just, everyone asks, I don't know, it's a little different now. There's a lot of stuff that's on the internet, but back in our day, you literally had to have headshots in your car and you're running around to auditions. And I had an agent, and I was doing episodic television here and there. And this role came about, and I went to a cattle call just like everybody else. And then when I did the scene, they had already chose Tuesday night, I believe. And then Rennie Harlan, when I read my first time, was like, I want you to be Dan. He took me out. He was like, and the character's name was Dan. So it was really funny.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just too perfect, whatever. And then I read with Lisa, and then another Lisa who I can't remember at the time because it was all happening so fast. And then that's what happened. I got the role. Within like a day. I knew I had the part after the day. And I had to come back and read with another Lisa, but then they cast Lisa with the
So you knew when you were auditioning it was for a Nightmare on Elm Street.
I did, and here's what people crack me up. They always have some more of my fans are, calm down, you guys, calm down. Nice to see you as well. No, for real, what's it called? The movie came about, and obviously I was a young actor and needed to get a job. So I didn't know it was going to be a big deal, but as big as it ended up being. But I wanted to do it. I knew what it was. But here's what I wasn't a fan of because I only knew Nightmare 1 and I was scared to poop out.
Yeah.
I was like, this movie is scary. It's weird. That's Wes Craven's creepy. Dude can kill you in your dreams. And I didn't even like watching it. I was like, whoa, that Freddy Krueger movie is weird, And then by the time I got on the scene, it was Nightmare 4, and Freddy was like a funny guy and wore sunglasses and was like not scary. But yeah, I knew what it was, but I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a huge fan of it, because it scared the crap out of me when I was younger.
Yeah, the first movie, I'm with you. The first
it was
movie
weird, right?
Yeah.
He kills you in your dreams, and he's all creepy, he's all in the shadow.
But one thing I have found is 4 is a fan favorite.
I know, well, because I'm in it. That's not true. It was a bunch of really good actors. I'm just saying we were all hungry, ready to go. But number 3 is very successful as well.
Yes.
And so it started this like weird counterculture. But it's like digging a band that only you guys like or something. And yeah, we love that band, And so then 3 started climbing, and then we were kind of like we were in the beginning of like the technology meeting CGI and hit music. As far as, even though you look at it, it doesn't seem hit, but it was hit kind of at its time. We had a killer soundtrack and all this stuff, and jump cuts, and MTV was actually in the movie a lot.
Yeah.
Those people are famous, like Randy and the VJs or whatever they were called back then. I don't know. Do you guys know? Like,
I think it was
anybody
VJ.
that's older remembers all the video jockeys guys. They were personalities. So they were in the movie as well. So it was like you said, and then man, it exploded. Fan favorite, Nightmare 4 just rode the wave, and now we're at the crest of the wave. And the lines were around the corner, and people were like, even then, I don't get recognized anymore, but back then, even though they're like, you're a football player, dude, guy. I saw you in the movie last night, man. You're awesome. I was like, all right. And then, so that was a little story about that.
Well, that had to have been an amazing feeling, though. You were in this.
I thought the rest of my career was going to be like that. Like, this is so easy. No, it was a boomerang kind of whatever. It was a surprise thing that happened, and it was fun to be part of it. And then, it was a blast. And also, I think because we worked so hard, and I don't want to say that we got paid so little. It wasn't like now where you can like do a movie and get paid $1 million and not even get a movie. But we worked hard, and then to see it do that was a lot of fun.
Well, at the end of 4, because you're one of the only people who made it through 4.
I know.
Did you know there would be a 5?
This is why, my personal opinion, it was like if you have a stock and it's going up or whatever, and everyone buys it, eventually it's going to go down, right? So they were making. This is when Freddy Krueger became a personality. Robert, good for him. They made action figures. This is before they do it now. And now there's action figures for everything and blah, blah, blah. So now there's lunch boxes and all this Freddy stuff. So yes, when they were finishing, they were already trying to make a TV show and make a sequel for our movie. If you notice, there's the image at the end of the movie where I flip the coin.
And
And so at that point, I was too young and stupid to go, yeah, I want triple pay. I was like, yeah, cool, let's do another one.
So, did you think when you got 5, did you think they were going to kill Dan Hassel?
Oh, I knew that was the formula. I didn't even read the script, and I was like, I bet I'm the first one to die. And sure enough, I was the first one to die. But that's the way it goes. And the cool thing is when if you look at Andros Jones in Nightmare 4, he has his death is like kind of just made up because they ran out of money.
Yeah.
And so they had all this other stuff they were supposed to do, but they couldn't. And all that. So, but the cool thing about 5 is they had a bunch of money when I was doing mine. So it was like, thumbs up. Lots of special effects.
I understand that it was done that way to move the story forward, especially for 5, because 5 was such a different movie.
It was. It went a whole different direction.
And how it had to affect Alice, obviously. But I think a lot of the fans were sad to see you go so fast.
I know that's the thing. Whatever I get, but that's the formula. That's the way. I wish too, or whatever. They could have made the script, but that's just the way they do it. So I was lucky enough to get killed by Freddy Krueger and now immortalized.
Yeah, not many people get to say that. Yeah. So,
no, I have a side funny story about when I heard that disclaimer that said 18-year-olds, or it says this is rated R. This is a radio show right now.
Yeah.
So when Robert, even my first times when we were all on set together, and I actually had a scene when Robert was in full makeup, and I'd met Robert out of makeup a bunch of times, but I'd never seen him in full deal with the greasy skin, the fake teeth, and his hands and everything. It just completely morphed into Freddy, right? And I've never really seen him like that. So now we're filming right next to a school that's only like 3rd grade down to kindergarten, and they start going nuts because they're like, Freddy.
Yeah.
And it's like the recess, so they're like all on the fence now trying to watch the film crew. And when Robert jumped out of his trailer and was like, those kids just went bananas. It scared him so bad because he looked real. Even I was like, whoa. Look at his makeup. I was staring too, like a circle. I was like, whoa, there's Freddy Krueger. I just remember that, like a surreal moment. And then it went from that to the film crew was like, oh, these kids are going, you see all the teachers running after the kids, they're just going crazy. Like they were scared of it.
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere in the Nightmare Lure or whatever, that Robert's trailer actually started getting shook on.
That was
during
this
the
time.
making
That
of
was
4.
I believe this is time.
Yeah.
What they were doing is these kids, it was like a recess. It was a big school, so there was a lot of kids, and so they came over to the fence, and the fence was touching the trailer, and they were literally like rocking the fence and maybe saying, Freddy, Freddy. But when it came out, it was a complete opposite. It was amazing. It was like a wind went over all the kids like a tidal wave because they were all it was like World War Z running over each other to get away from it. It was so funny. Well, because he looked real, man. He did. I was like, even myself, I'd never seen him in full makeup. And back then, that was really new technology to have prostheses.
Yeah.
Look real, you know. So.
Well, that's another. I'm glad you brought that up. So you said the first thing you did with Robert, he was in the makeup. Was it? I'm curious. The scene where you're fixing to be operated on.
Yes.
That was the first thing you shot.
It's so shot out of sequence. I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You don't get shot out of sequence. That might have been the first day because it all has to do with production and what they can get at the, you know. So you don't shoot the movie first. The scripts don't go in order. They go all over the place. So yes, that was one of those days where we were like on stage, but it was where everyone was together too. And he does a thing, I think, with his back.
He does that to Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, Tuesday. I can't remember. Anyhow, it was one of those days where we were all together. It was pretty neat. And it was early on before I really seen Robert before the deal.
So after Nightmare 5, I think you did Jag, an episode or two of Jag.
I did a bunch of episodic television, but nothing that really blew up. The only thing that was really like substantial that was probably would have changed my zip code and have a good, you know. Back then I did a show called The Outsiders, and a series called The Outsiders.
Is that based off the movie?
Exactly. And it was just as cool and just as neat, and Robert Russell was in it. Oh, and so was David Arquette. He was one. It was cool shit, but it never took off. They didn't buy it. It was cool and it was well done.
It's just sad with some shows that they don't pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know, but you are a veteran.
Oh yeah, I did that too, and then I just went hard left.
So thank you for.
You're welcome. Today's a very somber day for a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah, moment of silence for all that. It was a hard day for New York. Just for me, that was before I was a soldier, so I have a weird connection with 9/11. The only time I went to New York was to hang out. This is when I was acting, so I went there and got to stay on the Upper East Side with people that, it was a very nice trip, so I ended up staying, doing a little acting and doing some modeling work and hanging out. And then my friend's father was an investment banker, and we went to the World Trade Center because there was, I believe, a Shearson Lehman in there or something. Mm-hmm. And at that time, you're like, oh, cool. And then I have a picture, as we're leaving the office, I have a bunch of pictures of those towers. Just because I was like a tourist, I stayed in New York for like a month, but I was still like a tourist. I went everywhere, and so when it happened for me, it was a sad day for New York City. It was just I felt the connection.
It's a day I don't think anybody will ever forget.
Correct. So yeah, it was awful. And then I don't know if that was the thing that changed, but after that, I joined the military. I became an Army Ranger for 10 years.
So now you're living in Los Angeles. You're married.
Yes.
You have a little girl.
I have a 4-year-old. Yeah, so I waited to have the kids, so it's a blast. It's a blast.
All right. Well, I'm going to open up questions for audience members. Any of y'all got questions?
You better ask questions, or I'll start talking about myself. The 3-year-old has a question?
Does she have a question?
My favorite color?
Okay.
Green.
All right. Well, I guess nobody has any questions right now, so we'll just keep talking. So,
no, right. I have a bunch of funny stories. So when we there's a scene where they did the ambulance.
Yeah.
You guys remember the ambulance scene? And I'm all jacked up like I got in a car wreck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real makeup. I don't know what these special effects guys were so fun back then. Anytime they could go over the top, that's what they would do. So I pretend that I got in a car wreck. So there was another alien movie that they had worked on with the neck piece of ripped out of this dude. So he has like this tree, but it's a piece that you put on. Are we running out of time?
Oh yeah, we're fine.
All right. Anyhow, so one sec, I got to finish this story. So now I'm in the back of when you film in Hollywood, the we were so cheap back then. I don't know what they probably just were, guerrilla filming. It wasn't like we were at the studio. This is when New Line Cinema was real small. So we were filming in this neighborhood, but in this neighborhood, these people are just walking around like, what the hell's going on? So then we took the ambulance and they had to turn around so that you can get out and walk back. So I go, okay, I'll walk back. So I have a neck piece and I'm all bloody and I'm walking back to this neighborhood and this lady with her dog walks up to me and like loses her, oh my God! She runs out and she's like, oh my God! I go, they're making a movie. It was hysterical. To me, I thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Hollywood's a trip.
You had a question?
Yeah, send it.
Did you ever get scared when you were acting on that?
People ask that, and I didn't because just the first movie is scary. I'm truly scared of the first movie. But by the time I came around Nightmare 4, Robert was like kind of a celebrity. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm still scared of movies. I don't watch horror movies at home by myself. They're still scary. Even the newer ones are pretty spooky.
Okay. We have a question coming in from online.
So,
Yeah, we have a question coming in. What is wrong with this microphone? The hell with it.
Technical difficulties.
The hell with it. Yeah, right. It's the question is, in your upcoming project Seasons, your character is named Mark Frost. Is that name homage to Mark Frost, who created Twin Peaks with David Lynch?
Maybe so. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask the writers or stuff like that. I should know. You know what I mean? But even that sounds like it's true. It sounds too like a coincidental thing. So pretty cool. But yeah, there's a new movie coming out. We'll see how it goes. New movie called Seasons.
Well, I don't know if you know this. I think you may not know. Obviously, I was on the phone with Lisa the other night. I'm fixing to direct her in a movie.
Right. I heard. I already know. They're my friends. So yeah, good luck on your guys' project.
She's
as well. I love it.
playing an important character. I can say that. So yeah.
Right. That's good. I love that people are getting to work and Hollywood's production is starting to happen. So that's great. Anybody that's out there doing a new project, good for you. It's awesome. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what's happening next for, that movie. And then I also have a band that I don't know if anybody knows, but I used to play bass. I'm in the band. It's not my band, but it's pretty fun too. So we'll see how, live events are just getting going. So this is fun to be out here and see everybody again. It's really cool.
So I don't know if you saw it or not. Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh yeah, Jackie Earl Haley, is that him?
No. Jackie was in the
So I get
remake.
confused. So
Wes Craven's New Nightmare was where Wes Craven brought the actors from the first film back. It's supposed to be happening in real life.
Oh,
Tuesday night actually has a cameo in that one.
right.
If they came to you and said, we want to do this with Nightmare 4, we want to bring it and it's a reality type, would you go back?
I'm super expensive now, so they probably wouldn't go for it. Of course I do. Of course I do. I would do it in a heartbeat. Yeah, it'd be fun, right? They make it fun. It'd be fun. There's a lot of fans. It's like being, I'm super proud to be part of the Nightmare family. Whatever. It's a lot of cool people, and the horror fans are like, it's like they're very dedicated. It's like I said. So thank you. It's really cool because it's an eye opener. It's fun. Like so, yeah. If I were ever to do a project, I would definitely.
Is Sam Jordan from The Nightmare the favorite character you've ever played?
I'd have to say yes. The funny thing is that at first I didn't like it. It's the most successful. But early in my career, everything that I was in, Simon & Simon, people don't know, have you ever heard that? I was in Simon & Simon. Guess what I was? A football player guy. I was in The New Gidget, a show that no one watched except kids. It was like a kid show on Saturdays. There's a girl named Sydney Penny who was a really pretty girl. And she was like a teen star. But anyhow, I was on that show as well called The New Gidget. Guess what I played? A football guy. So I kind of, I don't know. That was like, I fit that role for a second. But the thing is I basically played myself in the movie because I was friends in high school. Just to tell you about myself, I was a jock guy, but I definitely was friends with everybody, and like like with the guys that were at the end of the spectrum or whatever, the weirdo guys with mohawks and stuff. I still hung out with all the weirdos. No, but that's what that's what guy. He was supposed to be that guy because usually generally the jocks aren't friends with guys like Rick or whatever. But that was the idea. And that was pretty much who I was in real life, so it wasn't really hard to do that. So, any other questions?
Yeah.
Do you think
absolutely, absolutely. And I think because this is going to sound weird, and Robert, and before you get too old, buddy, why don't you do another flick? No, because he's still young and super nimble. I actually know Robert outside of it, like we surf together sometimes, and he's a wicked good boogie boarder still. So he's still physically, and I think he could pull it. And I think he would be. I think he's still young enough to where he would be awesome, really rad, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, so I think so. I can't believe it hasn't been in the works, to be honest, because who knows? Maybe they're not the right people haven't got together and made it. I hope so. It'd be cool for the young guys, for your generation. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, I know my generation probably, if I remember correctly, 4 was probably the first one I ever saw.
Right. Well, that's what's funny is that's pretty. The fans that are around, I guess maybe because the older ones are so old.
I resemble that remark.
I didn't say that. Can we cut? I was just lying. Sorry. I just got there. I will get hate mail now. No, but no, man.
We know where your table is.
I'm the same age. Damn old people. No, that I don't know because I swear, Nightmare 3, 4, and 5 kind of have this weird continuity. Not so much 5 because it really did box office, but it kept people interested. 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah,
and then it permeated throughout at least the United, even international. It's international. Those, and then like I said, and then once people see those, and then they go back and probably rediscover Nightmare 1 and realize how trippy it really is.
and that's how it happened with me. I think I saw, if I'm remembering correctly, I saw 4 first,
Right.
then 3. I did it backwards.
No, that makes sense because to be honest, even myself, because as an actor, I just wasn't a fan. I mean, I'd seen it, but I didn't look at it now. When I was in the movie, I started watching it again. Whoa, these movies are really awesome, So.
Yeah. So you've already answered. You would tell us a little bit about seasons. What do you know about that?
I don't want to say anything yet. We'll find out what's going on. I hate talking about projects before they're finished. Just like, listen, if I knew more about it and I knew it was coming out tomorrow, I'd tell you. I hate self-promotion is just like, I'll be, what? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm sorry. But, the only thing I can talk about in the future right now is just like, let's just all keep our fingers crossed that live events keep going and we can still continue to work. Because live events as an actor and as a performer, if I don't do that, my income seriously suffers.
Exactly.
So I can't even come to cons. I can't even perform anywhere on stage. You can't even do open mics in cities if they don't get this. So I don't even know how artists are doing anything.
Yeah.
Some tables. So anyhow, I'm happy. I think things are going to go. I'm going to be positive and we're all going to continue to do events.
So any more questions?
So I want to throw this out there for the viewers that are watching live. If you do have questions, you can get them up in the chat. We will get to them. If you don't, well, then it's your loss. So I wanted to make sure that everybody watching and virtually knew that they could ask questions as well. It's not just a panel room.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to ask you something,
go ahead,
just because I want to. You said that you are in a band.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. Like what kind of music you guys do?
When I got out of the military, I had to you get the GI Bill. So I went and I used to play in like rock bands and all that and garage bands and never made $1. But it was fun as hell. And so when I was in college, I used the GI Bill and they had a music department in Seattle Central College. And ended up in their jazz department playing in the back. And at the time, my girlfriend, we'd been together for years. She's a singer. I didn't know that she grew up singing in the church and all that. And then, so finally we started playing music and then we formed this band called Victrola. And then it just grew from there. And it ended up being like a band, And so we did the whole Seattle. We played, it's funny because like when you, as a band, you need live events to play. So we played everything from little bars where you have to move the tables and set up the stage to like, bigger shows where they have bigger names and you're open for bigger bands. But yeah, we have a website. It's called victrolatheband.com. Go check it out if you guys are interested. And what's funny is it's all DIY, do it yourself, or DIY, whatever it is. It's all we did it all ourselves. We never even asked for a label, and you can tell by the recordings. Trust me. But they're rough. But we did that on purpose. We weren't trying to. We enjoyed it. It's a blast, man. If anybody's musicians, you know that it's a fun thing. So, yeah, and that again because of COVID, we were no longer, because we reestablished our thing in Los Angeles, and just as we started to go out and venture out and play again, then everything kind of shut down.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like I said, now you can play at places, so we'll see. There are shows this weekend.
Well, you were saying do it yourself, basically. That's what indie filmmaking is. That's what we did.
True. There's a parallel, I think, between bands and making a movie.
Yeah.
It's all production and getting it done and teamwork, and then someone has to be the business person and someone has to get the talent to show up on time and
Sadly, I will say this: when you're first starting out and you're the director and writer and everything else, it all falls on you.
Oh yeah, you're like the quarterback, right? You get blamed for everything.
Oh, we have a question.
So yeah, we have a question coming in from Peter Valderma, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Peter Valderma.
Okay, thank you. Most memorable event during filming both Elm Street 4 and 5
Man, this is the thing. I have so many good stories.
Yeah, but he said one.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
No, the kaleidoscope. There's a kaleidoscope scene. Actually, all the stuff that they used the big sets for was a trip because we didn't have CGI then. So like, there's a scene where Freddy puts us in a kaleidoscope and he spins it. He's looking down it. I don't know if you guys know that scene. They built a giant kaleidoscope.
Oh wow!
They had a whole kaleidoscope. Put the camera on and rolled us around in there. Made us look like we were falling around. So it was really neat. And then there's another scene that had nothing to do with me, but where they shoot Freddy and he has all the souls in his there.
Yeah.
I don't know which movie that I get confused. But anyhow, there's all these body pieces that when he rips the sweater down, they also built that.
That was for
huge,
4, yeah.
Huge like stage. It was really, I'm sure. It was awesome. It was neat. Those, yeah. But the kaleidoscope was a lot of fun.
Actually, I heard about that chest because it was so big. It fell.
Yeah, Nick Strong, is a friend of mine. He's out there on he does cons. I believe he has those guys and they have good stories about those. But you know what the cheapest and most memorable scene that we have is when Lisa is driving the car and I come out of the diner and I go, "Come on, we have to hurry," and she's like, "Hurry up, I'm driving." And then
the repeat.
And I come back, "Hurry up, I'm driving," and then finally I go, "Hey, haven't we done this before?"
Yeah.
But that scene cost like zero money as far as Hollywood goes, and that was like everyone remembers that awesome.
Yeah, I remember.
Super funny, right?
I remember the first time watching
funny.
that movie when that scene started, and then it happened again.
What's
going on?
In the movie, people were looking back at the projector like, "What's happening?"
But I have to ask, were you on set when they did Debbie's death scene?
I was next door on a soundstage listening to her scream. Like, there was like something like this in between us. And I can't remember because I can't remember why I was there. I probably had a scene after hers. But yeah, it's awful. You're rooting for your coworker as you hear them and they're pretending their arms are being ripped off. And they're just like, and you're like, "Man, she's going for it." You know what I mean? She's there. And then they're like, "Can we get 3 more? Just one more. Do it. Can you go even harder?" It's a poor Brooke.
I would have to say your death in 5, Debbie's in 4, and Tina's in 1 are the most memorable death scenes from that series.
They always do these funny like internet like who's death because there's a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street fans, and then I don't know. I was in there though, like top 5 death scenes. Freddy kills a lot of people. I can't remember actors, and they even know. People know how many people Jason killed, Freddy killed. I don't even know that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that Freddy killed that many people. But yeah, I'm always when they vote or whatever. I'm in the top 10 at least. I don't know. Yeah. And then we are. What's it called? There's just some memorable. The cockroach death scene is memorable. Mine's pretty memorable, and then the feeding of the girl in 5. People don't like that one. They always ask me about that one. But yeah, we were lucky. That was the gag back then, doing special effects. Talk.
Did you, when you were filming your death scene? I've seen pictures from behind the scenes from where you would have been in the car wreck. Were you on the motorcycle at all?
Yeah, that's how that was created. Well, both of them, the car wreck scene. That's where they also put the neck piece in and all that. And then back then, they just used rubber cement and strategically placed. And then a bunch of dudes just out of camera with these lighter things, torches, And then on action, they would light it, so it gave you a specific flame here, here, and here, a big flame, because it was just regular old rubber cement. But at times, the car would fill up with smoke. So you have to let the flame billow a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, action. And then I'd have to deliver the line. It's like, hey, how's it going? It was like, So yeah, that scene was hardcore because I had to sit there and let it get hot and smoky, and then, do the thing. But what was the other scene we were just about to talk about? Anyhow, a lot of those scenes, the special effects were like, so I don't want to. We didn't have CGI, so we had to just go for it and make it up and try hard. Like, oh yeah, the motorcycle thing was 3 weeks of same thing. I had to scream for 3 weeks. We were the motorcycle that grew. They were like, "Can you ride a motorcycle?" Oh yeah, I did motocross when I was a kid. I'm like, yeah, I definitely. And so sure enough, so when we did the take, I did jump out of the thing. I was so jacked up. I actually dented the truck with my fist on accident. And oh, dang, I hit the truck. It goes, brrr. And I was like, whoops. And then I ran to the motorcycle because it was on accident. We're really filming it. I was all hyper. And I started it up and I said, and I burned out and took off. And they were like, yay. So then they hired a stunt dude who can do it. And it grew and grew and grew and turned into like the whole thing, So it ended up looking amazing. And then, and then when we actually did all this stuff with the wires, you're on a huge soundstage with guys with these really powerful blowers just out of frame, making it look like there's wind and smoke behind you and all that. And then me screaming my lungs out for hours while these wires are penetrating my face. My face gets ripped off.
The things we do as actors.
So yeah, it was still fun. It was just like I said, it was bizarre. So, yeah, there's a guy shaking the motorcycle, a guy with the wind on you and smoke, and then all the prosthetics that were going on.
And I've heard, and I think it may have been on the documentary, the Never Sleep Again documentary.
It's like 9 hours long.
Yeah.
If you have COVID, watch it. It's actually
it is
really
a great
good.
documentary.
It's awesome. It's super good. But man, is it?
It is. But I'm pretty sure it was on that a lot of the your death scene was actually cut from the final film.
It truly was, and this is. I don't know if they were trying to pick on New Line Cinema, and who knows about lawyers and all that, because there was all kinds of things they probably could have went after. But the whole thing was the wires. They did this amazing thing where they put the wires on my skin and then made it, and then they pulled it out on action. Each dude would pull a wire out at the same time. We did it on my legs, and then when they rolled the film backwards, it looked like it was coming alive and penetrating my skin. And it worked. They didn't know if it was going to work, but it worked. And then they also had blood on it and stuff, so it looked really gory. So they were like, this is a go, this works. And they went ahead, and then when the film got put together, the people, whatever they call stuff,
The MPAA.
yeah, they said they don't want to see the wires penetrating the skin, otherwise we're giving the movie an X rating. And so, yeah, if you look at the version, it'll show the wires, or the version that came out in the theaters, the wires will raise up, and then they're in my skin. But the real one, I did this weird thing, because it's like, and then it just goes in my skin, but it's obviously not real because it was being pulled backwards. But yeah, it held up the movie for a bit.
You gotta love the MPAA.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. It was like who knows?
So I seen we had some people come in. Do y'all have any questions for Danny? Or?
Danny Hassel. It's okay. Go ahead.
So we do have one back here from cyberspace. Yeah, I saw that one. Sorry, the one above it. Yeah, I'm talking on the computer screen. My bad. It said, "Did you have any experience with tarantulas from Part 5 getting loose?"
Tarantulas.
The scene where it's near the end where Lisa impels him,
right,
and he gets torn apart
like tarantulas.
and
you know what's amazing?
Turning into spiders.
They have spider wranglers. They're really called spider wranglers, and they're the guys that smoke and have little wind machines, and they guide the spiders. They're it's like they tell them where to go. And so they're spider wranglers, and they're off camera, but they blow wind on them or smoke. They don't like smoke, and they use smoke in Hollywood all the time. I don't know if you guys know, just like when you take photography, they put smoke into it so it gives it the effect or whatever. So light bounces off of it. But so yeah, there's smoke all the time. It's anyhow, so you don't really see it. There are spider wranglers. I don't know if arachnophobia was the first time I heard that word from my friends in that movie, but yeah. Yeah, they have guys watching them. I don't know. There may have been a case where they got loose. Who knows? But they have dudes to catch them. The spider wranglers. Oh, and then what's funny is the dog. We have a dog, and how Freddy gets resurrected. You guys
Four.
Yeah.
Four, yeah.
The dog where he pisses fire.
Yeah.
Which is the most craziest thing ever. Right? This dog comes out and pisses fire, whatever. But that dog had like a representative. He has a bigger career than me. Let's put it that way. The dog is so famous. And he was awesome. He had like 3 assistants and his own trailer.
All for a dog.
He was awesome. Anyway.
But let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, we got another one.
Yep. How did you get cast for the role?
We already went over that.
Yeah, he's late to the party.
I know. I'm sorry. We can do the same story. Cattle call, guys. It was a Hollywood cattle call, and that's I just got lucky in a pile of headshots and just was the guy. And then, but I had it for some reason. Rennie Harlan, who is the director. If you have a rapport with the director, and you can't even decide how that happens, it just happened. He was like, "You were going to be done." I'm like, "Yeah, all right then." So it was love at first sight.
I've heard Tuesday do his accent. How he?
Oh, she makes fun of him because
How he tried to
think for each other. They might have dated.
Well, from my understanding, he tried to make the bathing suit get skippier.
Oh,
and
yeah.
skippier on her.
Yeah. So yeah, there was like that. And aside from that, but that was the first time Freddy was ever in the daylight. People don't know that he was always at night, and that was the first time Freddy ever did a scene where he's actually that beach scene was the first time where he had sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's a memorable scene.
First time in the sun. So,
Any questions?
anything out there on the Cyberland?
We're waiting.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes Cyberland comes in late. That's the difference between just doing a regular panel at the show versus the live stream as well, which is integrated into it.
Yeah. So, out of Nightmare 4, Nightmare 5, which is your favorite?
What's funny is I don't really have a favorite because I believed in Nightmare 5 because if you look at the director, he's super successful guy, Stephen Hopkins, and then this dude did storyboards. I think he may have been an illustrator or some kind of cartoonist or something because storyboards, storyboards are like a little comic book version of the movie that you look at. And some of them can be really intricate, and some of them can be just like a dude with a crayon going, here, there's a dude over here, there's a dude over here. But his literally there were such amazing drawings. I was like, whoa, dude, you drew that? I was like, so when we look that, and what it does is it gives you an idea of what he wants to see through the camera.
Yeah.
So when I met him, I was like, I love this dude. He's awesome. And so it wasn't like we did the movie without him. We thought when we did it with integrity and trying to be good, and then why I think it didn't. It was just Freddy overload. If they would have put that movie out 3 years after and then let people, and then put the movie on itself on its own with continuity going forward, it would have been way more successful. Maybe not that.
I think with 5, people are really on the fence with 5, much like they were with 2. I think 5 was ahead of its time.
No, I did. I don't know. I just think it was too back to back, and I don't know. But I wish it would have been released maybe like a few years later. But that's all hindsight. Who knows it? But actually, on its own, it's a decent movie.
Oh yeah.
So that's why the hardcore fans don't like it for some reason. But I think it's a good movie. And then obviously, I like them both equally because I went at them with the same amount of integrity. I thought they both were going to be good.
And the director on 5 was
Stephen Hopkins. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did some other movies. The one movie about the lions in Africa. I can't remember. Val Kilmer. Something. Anyway, he's done some other big movies. That's just the one that I watched, and I liked it. He's a good director.
So, we got any questions?
When you came back to play in Nightmare on Elm Street 5, did you just know before you got the script that they were going to kill your character?
Oh yeah. I read the script. I went to like page 1. I would look where I was like, I didn't even read the intro. I looked and I go, oh, here's my death scene, And so I kind of knew, but I also was excited because it was going to be a lot of special effects, and they shoot movies out of sequence, like I said. So we did all the dialogue scenes, which take time too, because the way you shoot movies, you'll shoot a long shot with everything doing their lines like this, And then you come back and you do these close-ups and it all gets edited together. He's a director.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, because it still takes a long time to do it. Yeah, it takes a long time to do just 10 seconds of dialogue. They move the cameras a whole bunch. So, and then you have to do it the same way. When they print one, you have to remember, oh, what did I do? And now I have to do the exact same kind of stuff. So that's why they put marks on the floor. I don't know if you guys know that. There's marks when you do that. You can't look at them, but there's specific areas where you have to be when you're filming. And you have to act. You can't look like, you have to pretend like it's real. But so they did all the dialogue stuff first, and then I went into what they call second unit, meaning there's like a second whole other crew, and they were strictly special effects. And that was, and this new line was still poor then, and we rented out a pasta factory as a giant studio, and we brought in all these grips and made it a studio. So it was like one of those, what's the movie that Hughes, the brothers that do the movies like the Suzuki movie where they smooth the cameras like a soundstage. So you had this going on over here, and then you had all over here, you had these guys. You literally would walk up and down stairs to a different soundstage while they're working on different parts of the movie.
It's funny that you were talking about how we film out of
Oh,
order.
it's totally out of sequence.
Because when I was speaking, this is some for y'all, but when I was talking to Lisa Wilcox, obviously y'all are fans of the film, you know Alice from the beginning of 4 to the end makes a huge change, huge character arc. Well, Lisa was telling me, because we shoot out of sequence, each day was different for her of which version of Alice she was.
It was torture for her because they had to make her look really like played down, not pretty, and like almost like greasy, like brownish, weird red hair because she's a blonde, you know what I mean? So, and then towards the end, you know, she's like, you know, Lisa's a pretty girl, so they had to like make her unpretty, and then so she'd have to, which Lisa had to show up.
Yeah,
it was funny. And all the girls had, I mean, it was funny because even Brooke Lisa's character wore a wig.
Yeah,
that's not her hair either. It's the old 80s hair. It's pretty funny.
I think that was either Robert Shea, it may have been Rennie's idea, because Tuesday was blonde, obviously. Kristen was blonde.
Right.
And Lisa's actually blonde in real life. And
so
Brooke is blonde in real life. So at Hollywood, you can't have 3 blondes.
Right, no, so they give her a wig, and then it was funny. And it's funny.
Yeah, and Lisa told
And her
me
hair, it was like this big.
she didn't want,
big 80s hair.
she said she didn't want to dye her hair, so they did like a rinse on her hair every single day.
No, because we have our scenes are together. Yeah, so a lot of times Lisa would be in makeup together. It's like, but mine's, you know, guys, you don't really do too much. And then for her, yeah, she was always in like you're getting your hair washed in this crazy wash basin.
Yeah. And she said it ended up staining her hair anyway. We're getting close to the end here. Do we have any more questions before? Yes.
Did you keep anything for set?
I used to have, listen to this, I blew it because I had so many, I used to have this bust of myself that was like a whole like a rubber cast of myself, and I had that for years, and ended up I don't know where. But when I actually died, there's like it morphs into like a character that looks exactly like the character from Nick Cage's movie called
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. It's exactly the same thing from my movie. I'm like, can they do that? That's I was like, did they just rip us off? But so anyhow, it looks just like Ghost Rider, but we did that in our movie back in the day. And so yeah, that suit, it's out there on eBay for about $1,500, and it's called the Dan suit. It's like it's basically all the prosthesis that made me the stuff on my face. It's actually really neat. It'd be an awesome costume wearer for like Halloween. So I wants to buy it. I was trying to get him to give it to me. But I lost my Letterman's jacket that said Dan on it. I don't know what happened to that. I wish I would have kept more memorabilia.
I was wondering if you still had that letter.
I did for the longest time. And then the funny thing is, everyone got crew jackets that had this cool, I saw everybody wearing them.
Yeah.
I didn't get one.
Well, that's not fair.
I know. Everyone had them except me. I was like, oh, I guess that's what they're telling me I'm going to get one. I was like, you guys got one?
All right. Do we have any more questions? All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you, Danny, for sitting
thanks
down
for having me
talking
on.
to us.
Virginia, Norfolk. This is a great city. Super fun coming out. This is a great little con, you guys. Tidewater Horror Convention has been a lot of fun.
Yes. It's
So come on out if you're still around town. You want to do something fun? Come on down.
Yeah, come out and see us if you're in the area.
And if you want to know more about this amazing guest, you can find them in all the show notes on the stream. Everybody here in the panel room, well, they can hear me. I got the mic right here.
Oh,
Everybody in the panel room, just head over to his table, check him out. And,
Yeah.
come by.
No.
We can chat. You don't have to buy stuff. Just come by. We'll talk about me more.
Yeah, me and Dan, I called you Dan. Me and Danny are actually neighbors.
Yes, come by our tables. Yeah, come check us out.
All right, well, thank you.
So long, everybody.
Let's hear it for Danny Hassel, guys.